Welcome to the CEO's Laundry, the first coaching podcast designed for leading CEOs. You see, CEOs face personal and professional issues just like you and me. But with a high-level position comes high-level questioning and duties. As a result, they can feel alone, misunderstood, confused, or overwhelmed. But these high-level responsibilities can also be a source of inspiration for them to look for ways to simplify their lives and optimize their results for the long run. That's why, instead of focusing on their achievements and success stories, each episode is a discussion focused on their current challenges and what lies ahead. I help them clear their minds. This way, they make room for fresh insight to refocus on themselves, give their daily lives a new boost, and strengthen their impact on the world. Be at the forefront of a podcast that reveals the reality of a human being behind the title of CEO. Hi, in today's coaching podcast session episode, I'm with Tarek. Tarek is the CEO of Nomads Giving Back and Nomads Skillshare. You will learn more about this once he introduces himself at the beginning of the recording. Tarek comes with 3 challenges in mind today: how to be a better social entrepreneur and leader, how to prioritize what matters the most in terms of time efficiency, and how to be financially sustainable. So he wanted to address those 3 topics, and we did. So you will witness me asking him a bunch of questions for probably 45 minutes. And then at the end, he gave me the answer. He gave me the solution of his problem. And it always comes back to you, to who you are being, even as a CEO, even when you have a team of 100 people like him. I hope you enjoyed today's coaching episode with Tarek, the CEO of Nomads Giving Back and Nomads Skillshare. Hi, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of the CEO's Laundry. Today, I'm with Tarek KHOLOUSSY. We are going through some coaching session. Thank you, Tarek, for showing up for that, to have the vulnerability and courage to show up and to talk about challenges that are live for you as a CEO.
Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to give a bit of background. Tarek and I already had some coaching conversation before today, so we already know each other a bit. And so I will do my best for you to be at the same level as me, so that you can follow the conversation. And if I know anything about Tarek or Tarek business that I believe you should know to understand this conversation, I will let you know during this recording. Tarek, I give you the opportunity to introduce yourself and to introduce your business so that people can understand who you are and what you do. And then we will jump into the challenges that you have in mind. Maybe you have more than one challenge right now, and we can pick one together. I will let you decide what is best for you. But first, please introduce yourself.
Sure. Again, Kevin, thanks for having me. I have a lot of respect for you and the time that we've shared together, with you giving me wonderful advice and being an effective listener. So I'm Tarek, and I am talking to you here from beautiful Bali. And I've been living here for several years, and I'm originally from the States, mostly New York City. My family's originally from Egypt. So for a while, I was doing the whole corporate suit and tie world, hopping from skyscraper to skyscraper. And around 2013, I was creating more meaning in my life and more adventure and more international connections and more social impact. So I bought a one-way ticket and took a leap into the unknown, and became a nomad. Along the way, I really found that there are so many people out there like me that want to connect more locally, want to give back, and they don't know how. And so 3 years and 2 days ago, we created Nomads Giving Back, which is all about inspiring you to give back to the communities that you call home away from home. And 1 year and 2 days ago, we created Nomads Skillshare, And that's all about empowering you to learn the skills to live the life you imagined. And we have this beautiful community, more than 100 volunteers around the world, and we're all about community impact and connecting us to live better lives and live the lives we imagine.
Thanks. Yeah, you're leading a great business in the digital nomad space, and I would say the hard work, the charity work. I love what you do. That's at the personal level. So let's play, Derek. We have 1 hour to have fun together. You allow me to not be your friend, I would say, but to be a coach for 1 hour and to do what I can do and the best that I can do to help you to face the challenge, issue, questioning that you have right now. So what do you have in mind for today? What would be the most beneficial topic to focus on for you?
Sure. So, we talked a bit about this when we were having our sessions not too long ago. I would say some of the common themes that come up in my life that I'm feeling challenges with relate to being a social entrepreneur, being a leader among a number of people, and balancing the competing demands on my time, my energy, and prioritizing what actually matters and realizing that there's only 24 hours in a day. So there's also the whole work-life balance, and it's hard to lose sight when you are enjoying so much of the work and the meaning behind it. A lot of times I don't know if it's a work meeting or a social meeting. It just ends up being connecting. And I think, also financial sustainability for the organization is something that definitely weighs on me because it's such a beautiful mission that I've been primarily self-funding. So we're at an exciting stage now where there's a lot of upward potential, but it's like turning a ship. You can't do 180 degrees. So we need to manage that carefully. So yeah, those are some of the most common challenges that I think about a lot.
Okay. Which one do you think is the most important or the most urgent or the one that challenges you the most?
I'm happy to talk about both if you'd like. I think what's related to both of those topics, like a common thread, is maintaining the inspiration, right? Because we're all about inspiring people, and for me to try to inspire, especially volunteers who are in it for the intrinsic values, some meaning and community, not necessarily for the traditional pay. That adds another extra element to being a good leader, is to try to influence without authority or financial incentives. So I think that kind of plays into both of those challenges, the being a good leader and then also the financial sustainability, because they kind of all blend together.
Okay. Let's start with leadership. That's the first one that you put on the table today. I remember that what led to our first conversation together was also on this topic, this leadership topic. So it's alive for you. It's still alive for you.
You
So
had me up on
let's focus
stage.
on that.
You had me up on stage in front of 50 people and gave me a mini coaching session. It was definitely outside my comfort zone, but if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't have had a deeper relationship. And so I'm grateful for having that moment with you.
Yeah, exactly. We had something like 1 or 2 minute coaching, and and 1 or 2 minute was enough to spot something. What is the challenge exactly for you here? You say being a social entrepreneur and a leader. That's something that is vague. What is exactly the challenge for you here?
So the reason I transitioned my life, like I mentioned, I was a corporate suit and tie kind of guy. I worked at places like Goldman Sachs. it's a completely different culture, completely different type of mission than what I'm doing now. Um, and I wanted to create more meaning in my life, more connection with people that inspire me, who inspire me. So what I've been investing my energy in is building this community, and in so many ways, it inspires me back. You know, like our tagline is "Inspire yourself, inspire the world." I believe in the virtuous cycle that can be created from that. The thing is that, you know, putting yourself out there. So I definitely have had my challenges, but also learning to get more comfortable, like doing this, for example, being vulnerable. That's going to be available publicly, talking about things that these are things. This is the type of thing I wouldn't have done even like a few years ago. Public speaking, you know, hosting events. So with that, I get usually inspired from the feeling of helping others and seeing people have a good time and feel more meaning. But the challenge related to that is that I can't please everyone, you know, 100% of the time. And so the more you put yourself out there, the more you're putting yourself out to potential criticism and judgment of people that don't see the things the same way. And in fact, the irony is I've seen firsthand that there are people that will often hold you to a higher standard if you want to have a positive impact than if you were just making a buck selling something. So I find that ironic, but the reality of it, um, you know, so overcoming the while the vast majority of the time I feel encouraged by what I'm doing, sometimes I feel discouraged, right? Because if I want to please everyone, I want to, you know, so I know a lot of these things in theory, like don't care what other people think, especially those that don't matter to you, that you don't resonate with. You don't need to send a message to everyone. If you say something that pleases everyone, you're probably not saying anything meaningful at all. That kind of, I understand these principles in theory, but to embody it fully 100% of the time it can be challenging. And that goes with the public, that goes with the broader community, that goes with our team. You know, especially like, I mean, anybody who's busy can relate to the fact that you can't always reply to every message on time, and then feeling that sort of like, oh, but I'm here to help them, I'm here to inspire them, but I'm not replying to them on time. So those sort of pressures, but then knowing that, hey, I need to catch a sunset on the beach. I need to do the yoga and the breath work and the meditation and read inspiring books. Like these things are important to me. So it's that everyday challenge of that I'm facing is how do I maintain the inspiration, especially how important it is for what I do specifically, and letting go of what is out of my control and setting some limits on on my time and my energy and where it's going.
Okay. What do you feel when you're in those situation? So you say that the challenge for you, if I understand, is that it can be difficult for you to deal with, can be disagreements, it can be not having the time to answer people, it can be the fact that people don't resonate with you, um, from I would say a low level and high level would be people who like are actively against what you say, or something like that. What do you feel in those kind of situations?
Well, it's interesting. I had a moment just a week ago where I noticed um, I got some constructive feedback, and I noticed that my reaction and how I felt about it is different than what it was 2 or 3 years ago when I was early at this. Um, this time, I was still like I still felt a little resistance to hearing it, but I feel much more convicted in my belief in what we're doing and how we're doing it, that I almost had empathy for the other person, because I see that they're in that, you know, in my mind, it's my perspective, they're earlier in on their journey where it's easier to judge and criticize what others are doing, but without actually knowing the real challenges that are involved in doing something like what I'm doing. Um, and I have had the opportunity with my amazing team to have a lot of positive impact and to like literally change some lives. Um, so I know that it's working. Of course, it could work better, of course, but it's working and it's the process. And just yesterday, I was having a deep conversation kind of related to this topic. And the pressure that I'm feeling is that I have high expectations in my life for me and for others. And I want to have a massive impact. But at the end of the day, it's kind of funny to ask the question, if my goal, my personal mission and my organizational mission is to inspire people and to help them live the lives they imagine, then, my friend on my team said to me, you're already doing it. You're already doing it. So the question is, how many is enough? Is it 1 million people? Is it 1,000 people? Is it one person? And so I feel much more comfortable now, but it's not at 100%, and accepting that I'm already doing it and I should feel good about it. I should stay on the track. And if there's critical feedback that comes my way, listen attentively, like there's always some truth to it, but then factor that in as one data point in the whole massive equation. And if you start to hear a pattern of critical feedback on certain things, then definitely take it more seriously, but not let the anecdotal ones affect me in a way that's not constructive.
Okay. Yeah, you say something interesting. It's like, how much is enough? And there is, if you chase, it will never be enough. You can inspire the whole world. That would not be enough, because it means that you would get your satisfaction on something that is not out of your control. It's like people's willingness to give you something. So you talk about high expectation. So what is high expectation for you? What does that mean? How does high expectation are translated in your life?
Sure. So, I mean, one of the qualities, but also weaknesses, it's like, a double-edged coin, double-sided coin, is that part of who I am is that I like to set high goals. That's what keeps life interesting for me, is whether it's personal growth, professional growth, spiritual growth. Like I like to try to let go of my self-limiting beliefs and set goals that are out of my reach. And because of that, it has helped me become more effective in achieving some of my dreams and getting closer to them. But on the flip side, it can actually be discouraging because there's such high goals that I put pressure on myself, and I don't like to fail. So my head, my mind, my busy mind, my monkey mind is always spinning. How can I do better? How can I get closer to that? So it's interesting because I'm still not sure, and I would love your feedback. Like how to do both, like how to still continue to set high goals, because that's what keeps life exciting for me, and has led me to live closer to a life that I want to live, without the mental stress and pressures that can be overwhelming at times. And these types of goals can be like wanting to work and succeed at companies that have high expectations, like Goldman Sachs, to when I started getting into running, I would run a 5K, then my first marathon, then my first double marathon, then when I go faster. When I started traveling, I was like, okay, I want to see more countries, experience more, and I went to 100 countries. So like, it's just part of my DNA. and balancing that's the both sides of the coin is where I definitely could learn to grow in.
Okay. So what is the high expectation, a big thing that you're chasing right now and that can feel discouraging for you?
So it goes back to the first two challenges I had shared. One is really becoming more effective at having a bigger social impact through what we're doing. Um, I see so much potential. I mean, even though there's been so much progress, I see so much more potential ahead of me, and our team. And then secondly is the financial sustainability. I feel like we're on the cusp. We're like I maybe even just months away from like setting certain milestones of breaking even, and then hopefully building something that's actually sustainable that we can reinvest so we can continue to grow and have a bigger impact. Um, so those are the two that it comes back to for me.
Okay. When you say a bigger impact, what does that mean, a bigger impact?
Having that question, how many people is enough, right? So I think we can help thousands and thousands of people, both that have some privilege to learn new skills, but also to help those that have less privilege get access to learning new skills, to connecting foreigners and locals. Like these principles is my personal mission. And yeah, how many is enough? So I don't know. We are doing it, but we can do more. So that's it comes back down to that.
Okay. And when you talk on financial sustainability, what is the dream for you? What is the big goal?
Yeah, I mentioned marathons, and like sometimes I use the analogy of a marathon, and I feel like there's been moments where I'm running too fast, and then I'm running out of energy, and it's making the ride, enjoying the journey and the ride and the run less enjoyable. But what's the finish line? And I think of it as two finish lines for me. Um, one finish line is to break even financially. I've been primarily self-funding this, um, and without taking pay. So that's not sustainable, obviously. So I want this to outlive me. I want this to be bigger than myself. So I would love for it to break even, and then I would feel like I crossed one finish line. And then ideally, I would also continue to take care of my own financial needs through this, but it doesn't have to be this. It can be on the side and work on something else. But my time is maxed out on this. So I'd either have to create more space in my life to take on other earning potentials, and run this simultaneously, or somehow generate revenue that's enough to cover my living costs as well.
Okay. What is something that big corporation like Goldman Sachs do well?
Well, what I did, I mean, I have mixed feelings about um, that world I used to work in, but I definitely have a lot of admiration that there's a really talented, bright, effective people that work for companies like that, and um, I admire their discipline, their resilience, their aptitude at getting things done and getting it done well. There's companies like that, like Goldman Sachs, that they just have an aura of excellence and commitment. Um, on the flip side, it comes at a cost. You know, uh, let's just say like the world that I'm living in now and the people I'm associated with now, there's a lot more focus on wellness and personal growth, and basically more time to live, rather than work. So I don't know how much it's possible to do both, but that's what I'm trying to do. Um, but that's the challenge. It's like there's trade-offs in life, you know?
And What is a trait, a character trait or personality trait or something like that that you don't like about the the stereotype corporate leader?
I would say life is more than work. Um, and it's very easy to lose sight of that. And having your identity so tied into your professional purpose, at least for me, and I imagine many others, can be unhealthy from a mental standpoint and maybe losing sight of what life's all about. And, I recognize that these traits of me trying to be like an overachiever, setting high expectations, I kind of recognize at some point that I'm probably not going to change that much. So that's why I decided to, if I'm going to work hard at something, it better be as aligned to my personal mission in life as possible. So that way I'm living my why as much as possible. Um, and working in the corporate world, the traditional person, they're not necessarily um, maybe some are, but I imagine many aren't living their personal mission. It's a means to an end to create financial opportunities to maybe buy and have access to the things that give you pleasure and happiness rather than directly giving you the pleasure and happiness.
Okay. What do you think would change in your life or business if you finally have that feeling of, okay, I found the enough number, I found the enough limits, like whatever you want to call it, and having this financial sustainability for your business and for yourself? What do you think would be the impact of having found that?
Yeah, I feel like so. I think if I'm going to try to be really honest, on one hand, I'd feel a weight off my shoulders. Um, I'd feel more satisfaction that this is something that can sustain itself. Um, on the flip side, knowing my history, I'd probably find something else that's another challenge or an additional challenge on top of this. And then I'd probably find myself a little bit in that cycle of somehow wanting something even better that is aligned with what I want in life. Um, and I'm also evolving. So there's my needs and my goals have changed over time. So I don't know what I don't know. In a couple of years, it might be something a little bit different. Or extended of what we're already doing. You know, if another way of framing what you're saying is like, I often think about asking myself, like, okay, if I won the lottery, what would you do? And I ask people this question a lot. And I would be doing the exact same thing, but I would be doing it differently. I would be doing it probably uh, with less actual hours invested in it, so I could focus on some other personal goals. And secondly, money can solve problems, some problems. So some of the things we're doing at a very grassroots budget level, you can solve by outsourcing and hiring a consultant and doing this. So that's what I would do is if I had more financial security, I would probably solve some problems with some of that money. But I'd probably be doing the exact same thing right now in terms of the mission.
In terms of the mission, yeah, the business wouldn't change drastically.
Yeah.
And you just highlighted one of the issues that you probably would look for something else, like another thing to chase, because it would not be enough. And this highlight how much it's related to you, to who you are, because you could have money, but then you would be afraid of losing the money, and then you will try to do your best to keep the money that you earn, or to make sure that you would sustain that minimal level that you're seeking right now. It's like, how can I make sure to keep that for myself, because I don't want that to disappear from my life.
Yeah, yeah. And just to like elaborate a little further, that's an area that I've really changed and evolved in my life. Like I used to my first year out of university, I joined a large company, Arthur Anderson, right before 9/11 in New York City, and the whole thing collapsed. I lost my job, and I felt really, really vulnerable, being unemployed for half a year. And when I finally got a job, I said to myself, like, I never want to be this vulnerable again. So that was the trigger of me wanting to work so hard on my corporate path because I wanted financial security. And then fast forward a dozen years, in my early 30s, I realized that the extra money and the promotions weren't doing it for me. Temporarily, there's a boost in my happiness, but then it was gone. So then I did a completely 180 and walked away from that life and didn't even work and earn money for years. I was volunteering and traveling and learning about life and exploring. And so when I just want to like elaborate on your point about money, I really don't care about money. Like and it's funny coming from me, for someone who used to like watch CNBC stocks all day, check my balances every day, work in the financial world. So to go from that one end of the spectrum to the complete other end that I don't care about it. I think what it comes down to is, again, how much. So of course I want to have a decent lifestyle, but I'm not into luxuries. I'm a pretty basic guy now. And so um, once I kind of have that mental security that I can afford running our business and have a decent pay for whatever work I'm doing. And I know I can. There's nothing stopping me from going down a more traditional path and earning. So I always can fall back to my skill set and everything like that. So I know it's there, but it would be great to do it while feeling like I'm serving my personal mission. And then there'll be a lot of relief, I think.
Can you repeat the following out loud?
Sure, why not?
I care a lot about money.
But I don't.
Can you say it out loud?
I care a lot about money.
Can you repeat it again?
I care a lot about money.
Again.
I care a lot about money.
Because this is what I see from you. I see someone who care a lot about money. And I don't believe that you don't care about money. I would never buy that, because from the moment we had our first conversation to today, a topic that comes back all the time is money.
Well, it depends on the how we frame the conversation. So yes, financial sustainability is all about money. So I, of course, care about the financial sustainability and therefore money. What I'm saying is I don't care about money. It's a means to an end. What I'm looking for is the ability to achieve my organizational mission, my personal.
I stop you here, Tarek. I stop you here. Yeah. I see something that you don't see right now. Money is money. It's okay to care about money. And what I see is that you're making dichotomy. It's like money is this, is not that. It's the money is money.
I see money as energy, and it can be used in different ways. I don't have an aversion against money like some people I know.
No, of course not.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, just to be clear, if you gave me $1 million, I wouldn't use it to buy things. I wouldn't use it to get fancy things. What I would do is basically do exactly what I'm doing, but make it a little less stressful of a lifestyle. Um, and I mean, that's basically what I did do. I used my life savings to build what I'm doing, but it's not breaking even yet. So that I just want to be really clear. Like I hear what you're saying. Yes, I do care about money, but not in the way that most people care about money. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes complete sense, and I got that.
It's really about freedom to do what I want to do.
We're getting to the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, you care about money, and that's good. That's good that you care about money, because as you say, money can allow you to do great things for your business.
Yeah, it's a means to an end. It's what money can do. It's the energy that it can create from freedom and impact. So I care about freedom and impact. And if money can help the process, then I care about anything that can help the process to get to those freedom and impact.
Mm-hmm.
But if
Okay.
money's not the end result for me,
Mm-hmm. So you need money to be free and to make impact.
right.
Can you be free and make an impact without money?
So the answer is yes, which brings us back to the previous question. How much is enough? How much
Mhm.
impact, how many people to help is enough that I feel good about what I'm doing? Um, because I could do a lot less uh, investment and time and still help people. And sometimes, in certain days, I'm like, why don't I just live a basic life and help the people around me? Why does it have to be like this global organization reaching thousands of people? Um, and it's a tough one. Like on certain days, I honestly think like, is this about why is it an ego thing where I not never it's never enough, or is it because I mean there was one point months before I created the organization where I was going deep into myself, and I was almost going to land in a situation where I said, why am I going to go after this dream of creating a social enterprise? I think it's about the ego. Let me live a real simple life and just love the people around me and help the community around me in my own way. And then where I landed was, honestly, I feel like I had a very unique journey. We all have our own unique personal journeys. And I feel like there's this unique opportunity based on my life experiences of where the skills I learned, the lessons I learned, the the meaningful moments, the transition of my life to understanding what that world's like and what the world I'm in now is like. And I basically came to the conclusion that I have this is my destiny. This is my personal mission that I feel like I want to leverage the unique journey and all the privilege I've had to get that perspective, to create something that could hopefully inspire others that resonate with that. Like I'm not saying everything I believe and everything I do is for everyone, but there are people that resonate with the values and the mission. Um, and so, yeah, I kind of went down a little tangent, but I just wanted to share that you're asking the right questions that are thought provoking and helping me reaffirm my own core beliefs. And my core belief is that I want to continue to do something that could have a major impact on many people. And again, it comes back to how do I do that without unnecessary suffering of feeling like I'm not meeting my own expectations. And
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm. And you gave the answer while speaking. You gave the answer. Do you have paper and pen?
yep.
Okay, let's do something, because the answer is very, very simple. It's so simple that it's not easy to do. Usually the most simple thing can seem dumb bullshit, and it's so simple that it can seem that it's not the answer. I would like you to split your paper in two with your pen,
Okay.
so that you have two columns, left and right. On the left, it's for what gives you energy, what makes you feel energized. And on the right, it's for what you feel is like sucking out your energy, making you feel tired.
Okay.
Because one of the answer of your question, how much is enough? If you take the self-directed learning way, your answer will be to, I mean, I give you the answer of this question from a self-directed learning way. It would be to chase 1,000 and be like, okay, it's not enough. 10,000, reach that. Oh, okay, but that's not enough. 100,000, yeah. I mean, feels good. Impacting 100,000 people, that's wonderful. But after 2 or 3 weeks, you will be like, okay, but that's probably a million. And then after reaching a million, you would feel proud, happy, great about what you did. But maybe 20 million, maybe if we can double that, it would be even better. And that would never end, despite satisfaction in the moment, despite the I mean, you've done something great, you feel great about what you did. So if we put that into the future, that would happen. There would be that feeling of success without fulfillment.
Mm.
Yeah, you would feel successful because you succeed on doing something great, but it will not solve the fulfillment issue or questioning that you have deeper within you. And this is the issue right now. It's about you. It's not, impacting one person or 1,000 or 10,000 or 1 million. You would succeed doing that. So you would feel successful and you would
Right.
feel happy about that. But you said something interesting. You say that sometimes you just imagine like living a simple life, like going back to basic.
Yeah.
I would say. And I believe the answer is here. We tend to think that this is where I am right now. I have to do all these things so that I can be free, I can feel fulfilled, and I can finally live the simple life, or the life that I want. And all those things will allow me to get there. And this is like an employee working all his life, waiting to retire. Like, once I get to 60 years old, I can finally be free. I can finally do all the things that I wanted. I can finally live the life. That's the same, even if the examples are different, it's the same mechanism inside. It's like, once I get to something, that would allow me to. But on the surface, yes, but within, no, doesn't work that way.
Right. Right.
So you can, the answer for you is very simple, is like, how can you live a simple life right now? Why have you built an image of your life and success and leading a business that is different from simple?
Yeah.
So this is what we can start doing together right now. It's this list of what energizes you and what doesn't energize you, because and your goal is very simple from there. And if you would hire me as a coach, this is one thing that we would work on. It's very basic, but the goal will be to, over time, remove everything that is on the right of your list and do more on what is on the left of your list.
Yeah.
This is something that I do with CEOs who are like mega financially successful, who have huge team, and we use this tool that is so simple because it's about you as a human being. Let's put on the left side three things that you do that makes you feel energized, that makes you feel like, yeah, it fills my cup, like this, that's enough. When I do that, that's enough. What are three things for you on the left side?
The first one is deep connections with the people who are close to me, who inspire me. Feeling like I'm making an impact in helping people feel more inspired and feeling better about themselves, and making a difference. And the third one is my personal growth time. So whether that's meditation, breath work, yoga, reading about philosophy and spirituality and psychology, things that really, yeah, I find spending time doing that really energizes me.
Okay. So and so let's go on the right side. What are three things that you do that you think you would stop doing once you're free, that you would stop doing later? Like three things that you do right now, but there's that feeling of meh behind.
So the first one is like the inverse of my first one that energizes me. So the first one that energizes me is the deep connection time with the people who are close to me, who inspire me. The opposite is spending time with people who are draining, uninspiring, judgmental. I have a lot of choice in my life to avoid that, but not always. Number two is like the stuff related to our business, that's like admin, finance, operations, things that are just a means to an end that I have to do, like going to the bank to open an account and doing transfers and things like that. And the third one is, and legal stuff, definitely very draining. And the third one is just overdoing it, when I sometimes just putting out so much energy. I have a lot of energy, but I also do a lot. So just feeling exhausted sometimes. Definitely getting, even if it's full of the good stuff, if I get to a point where it's like collapse, and you wake up but you're just still kind of drained. So that happens sometimes. You know, and it's usually as a byproduct of something good from all the things we're doing. But you know, it'd be great not to hit that level as often.
Okay. So that's it. You started to do that for yourself. What I invite you to do is to keep making this list. You can send it to me if you want.
Cool, thank you.
My pleasure. What are you going to live with? What is your insight or takeaway?
Well, I do like this exercise, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And you're right, it is simple. So sometimes it's more important to pause, slow down, and then focus on what matters. And then as the calendar fills up, as I'm planning to make sure that it fits the criteria and the goals are actually matter. And I like that it's focused on the actual energy source, the inspiration, because at the end of the day, that can be exponential impact. Because if, you know, it's not about the number of hours doing something, it's more about, does it feel natural? I mean, sometimes there's phases in my life where I'm super inspired and I don't even need to sleep much, or I don't need to eat much. It's just like you're at another energy source.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
feed that energy source. Um, it solves, it naturally solves organically other things. So yeah. Um, and I still don't care about money, but I got your point. I got your point that it's really what money represents. It's the freedom, it's the impact, um, and just even reminding myself that uh, it's about perspective on what money can do. That it's actually also an energy source, and so um, it's important to think about that as energy as well. Like even it should even go on the list. So
Mhm.
even though I don't care
Mhm.
about money, I will still put money in terms of the energy, because then it makes me less stressed and it makes me more uh, feeling more empowered. And a lot of it is perspective. It's not even the money. It's do I feel empowered? You can feel empowered without money, um, but you
Yeah.
can make it easy. You can make it easier. So
Yeah. And you can care about money. You can love money and make and use money as a way to leverage your life and your
yeah,
business and loving
everyone
spending it, loving receiving it, loving
back
sharing it.
their own purpose and relationship with money, and has their own goals, and we're all changing all the time, every day, every second. So um, it's definitely interesting. I wonder what it would have been like to have this conversation with you 10 years ago. That would have been interesting. And again in 10 years from now. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can do
Also,
that.
perfect. Thank you very much, Tarek. We are at 1 hour. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing about your truth, about what you're going through. I deeply appreciate that. It's on your hand now to do this exercise or not, and to reach out to me or not if you want to go deeper into it, and how you can truly use a piece of paper to change your life and to implement that into your life. I wish you a
Wonderful.
good day.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. This was really inspiring. I actually feel more energized after this conversation with you. Thanks for helping give me more perspective, new perspective. And I love what you're doing. I think it's very aligned with me. You know, we want to help people. We want to inspire people. There's so much potential for us to live more empowered, better lives for ourselves. So thank you for doing what you're doing, and wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you. See you later. Have a good
All
day.
right. Take care,
Bye.
brother. Ciao.